Hi, Mayor.
Hi, Larry. How are you?
I'm well. We're hanging tough.
Good to be with you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, I'm at City Hall, actually.
I haven't been there in so long. When do you think I'll be back?
Oh, boy. Not for a while. Not for a while.
I would think so too.
I think we want to do it slow but sure. You're welcome to come visit, though, for a day.
I know. Looking at the CDC guidance, even in phase 3, I shouldn't be in crowds. They just looking at my age. They don't really see me. They just see the age.
Good morning, Mayor Pro Tem Ashby. Good to see you. We have one more person that we're waiting on, and then we'll get started. But we have essentially started the broadcast, so members of the media are listening and are here and ready and waiting for our very cool announcement. So normally they'd just be standing around, but now we're all here on a computer. So we'll get started in just a second.
Has Councilmember Warren been able to call in, or is he in there anywhere?
He is not on, and that is actually who we are waiting for right now.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, great.
Mhm.
If I can. I know he's been having some trouble with Zoom lately. Hi, Mayor.
How you doing, Angelique?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing all right. Here at
Yeah, I see that. I recognize that building behind you.
yeah, doing good. Hope you do.
Okay.
Hi. Anybody texting Councilmember Warren?
Yeah, I am. I think he's trying it right now. He's trying right now.
Marilyn, just quick heads up, the blog is updated. So the YouTube link is now on there and will be live as soon as we get started.
Great, thank you.
Andrew, what do you think? Should we start without him, and can you bring him in once we start, or no?
I think we should start without him. We have a lot of people waiting, and
Okay.
he hasn't really RSVP.
There he
There
is.
he is. Good. Okay.
There.
There he
Okay.
is.
He's here.
Just
Okay.
in the nick of time. Hi, Councilman Warren.
All right, let's go ahead and get
It's okay.
started.
All right. Shall we get started?
Sure.
Yes.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm Daryl Sacramento. I will welcome all of you to the Zoom press conference. I am joined by a number of my colleagues who you will hear from. Mayor Pro Tem Angelique Ashby. Welcome to you, Councilmember Larry Carr, Councilmember Warren, Sacramento County Office of Education School Board Trustee Karina Talamantes, and Sacramento City Unified School District Trustee Mai Vang. We have brought everyone together today to make a very exciting announcement. And let me give a little bit of background. The city is fortunate because of its growth and our population count of 508,000, receive an $89 million stimulus check from the federal government to deal with the impacts of COVID-19. Last week or the week before, the council had a lengthy workshop and where we all a consensus around the idea that that money should be spent on economic recovery, both the short term and the immediate term, but also to create some sustainability for our economy, its business, and its people as we move forward. One of the things very clear from the last 2 months in this pandemic is that the digital divide is one of the most significant equity and equity challenges facing our drive to build a modern economy in Sacramento. We need no greater evidence than to see what's happened with public education over the last 2 months, where school districts, frankly, have heroically stepped up to try to employ this distance learning, and it's worked pretty well. But by definition, it does not work at all for students, for young people who do not have access to the internet, not have access to computers, or more commonly, in large families, many of our low-income communities, computer for 3 or 4 children and an entire family plain doesn't work. And so today we want to announce that Penn is one of our early wins. We call them early wins that we will City Council next Tuesday, is to propose over $500,000 to not end the digital divide in Sacramento, but to make a big dent. I'm going to let my colleagues go into more detail about the number of families that this investment will help, the number of internet connections, how we intend to go about doing it. But this is part of our drive to build a modern, inclusive economy. It's about school kids, yes, but it's about entire families. Because think of a hospitality worker who needs to think about retraining and wants to go into some form of the new digital economy. If they don't have a computer at home, if they don't have access to the internet, how are they going to get started? And so this is crucial. And I would just say that before I turn it over to the Mayor Pro Tem, that I see this as the beginning of an investment in eliminating the digital divide in Sacramento. We will have more resources because our early wins are only going to take a portion of the $89 million and get us started. But we will also have numerous partners, our respective school districts, and of course, the business community and our employers. And so let this be the day that Sacramento made a firm commitment to end the digital divide and give opportunity in all kinds of new industries and new growth areas of our economy to all people in Sacramento. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Ashby.
Thank you, Mayor. It's a great starting statement and a really good bench for all of us. And I know our colleagues, and we have a couple really great ones here on the call with us. They're going to talk to you a little bit about the commitment of bridging the digital divide in the city of Sacramento. But I'm going to tell you how we got here and where we're headed, what this program looks like, what we're trying to achieve. And then Councilmember Carr is going to talk to you about how we're going to reach folks. And then Councilmember Warren's going to talk to you a little bit about the importance of reaching folks and what this will mean for families. So you may know that Natomas Unified School District kicked this off first. They started a program where they identified several hundred households that they thought didn't have Wi-Fi. And even if they gave them computers, its children still wouldn't be able to bridge the digital divide. And so they brokered a program with Comcast. Sac City Unified quickly followed, Mai Vang and Jesse Ryan leading that effort. And they have also done the same thing. They've identified several thousand homes in the Sac City Unified School District where even if they gave kids computers, they still wouldn't have access to the internet. My Vang, as a result of that conversation, came to me and to Karina, who is both my chief of staff and a trustee for Sacramento County Office of Education, and said, you know, I've really been thinking about this. What about not just the kids in Sac City, but what about the kids that go to college here? You know, a lot of us weren't rich when we were in college, me included, Karina included, all of us, right? How would we have handled this if we were students alone in a city? What about seniors who need to order their groceries online? What if they don't have access to the internet? They are forced to go to the grocery store just to get food. I said to let me talk to the mayor. And when I called Daryl, I didn't even get it halfway out of my mouth before he said, yes, absolutely, we need to do that. So this is really Mai's idea, amplified by Daryl's vision, and then enhanced by the commitment from people like Councilmember Carr and Councilmember Warren, who have spent their entire lives and careers on the council fighting for equity in all manners and forms. This one's about digital equity. And I think what we've learned over the last month and a half is that having access to the internet in your home is no longer a matter of convenience, but rather a matter of survival. When you're dealing with something like a pandemic, the kids can't learn, the seniors can't buy groceries, can't get critical messages from your elected officials, from the government, from the news. So this is really important to us. Here's the program we're looking at implementing. Comcast is currently offering a program on their own that people who are of low income, meaning they qualify, could be SSI as your qualification, could be SNAP, could be student lunches, could be a low and reduced lunch counts. There's a million ways you can qualify. But essentially, if you don't have enough money and you don't already have the internet, you can sign up for 2 free months with Comcast, but after those 2 free months, it costs you $10 a month. That may not seem like much to some of you. Let me tell you, as a former single mom who used food stamps and lived in low-income housing, I have many times had $10 in my pocket and had to decide between diapers, milk, gas, groceries, and a bill. And I will promise you, the internet will not win that fight. Every mom and person in this city will spend that money on their kid and on food and on diapers and on those essential things to get through the day. We don't want them to have to make that choice. So our goal here is to say to people in the city of Sacramento, if you haven't already signed up for the Sac City program or the Natomas Unified program, or you're not a student, you're a senior, or you're a college student, or a young working professional who just lost your job and doesn't have the internet anymore, that you can look to your city. And we will help you pay for 6 months after your first 2 free months with Comcast. This should get 10,000 people in the city of Sacramento connected through the end of the year 2020. Let me say that again. We're going to ask our colleagues to vote for a $500,000 allowance here, as the mayor has described, that would give 10,000 homes in Sacramento, 10,000 households, the opportunity to be digitally connected for free in their home through Comcast for the whole year of 2020. I want to thank a few key people here because we didn't get to this point simply from a few folks' visions. There's a lot of work going into this. Karina Telemontes, SCOE trustee, and Mai Vang are the initiators here. But Scott White from the mayor's office has been herding cats for weeks with Karina to get us to this point. Maria McGunnell, who's on this call, is our chief information officer in the city of Sacramento. She's got this program ready to go. We're going to launch in about a week. She can answer technical questions. She's been working with Comcast. This is going to be a program that serves so many people. And we've really leaned on Maria in ways we never thought we would, not just to serve the information needs of our city staff, but of our city in total, 500,000 people. And this is another time where she's really rising to that occasion. Councilmember Chenier, who's not on this call, has been hosting a work group for weeks and engaging students. Karina has been on those calls. Allison, who's the chief of staff to Councilmember Chenier, and Jay's wife, trustee Bina Lefkowitz, have really been leading a phenomenal conversation around students and equity in the city of Sacramento. We're going to lean heavy on them to implement this program. Future council member Katie Valenzuela did a survey, and in her survey, she asked folks what was most important to them, what were they needing the most. Mai Vang also did a survey. In both instances, bridging the digital divide was a top tier concern for people across the city. This bridges all districts, every corner. And then lastly, of course, we couldn't do it without Comcast. If they weren't being generous, if they weren't stepping up to the occasion and bringing us a program that we could really wrap our hands around and provide services to people, we wouldn't be where we are. So again, 1 week from now, we'll launch this. 10,000 households is our goal. $500,000 is the cost. The mayor has already enumerated to you how we intend to pay for it. It is part of a larger vision. There is another program. As you know, RT is already doing things with the buses. Our parks have initiated some Wi-Fi programs. Our library is bringing forward a unique program that we will look at as well that would expand broadband from each library branch a mile into each community that I think would be well worth it as well. The council will consider that item. I know the mayor's extremely supportive of anything that gets more people connected across our city. The program does include the equipment that is necessary. And from a digital equity program standpoint, in addition to the 10,000 low-income households that we will reach over the 6 months, we will also have 1,000 low-cost computers for individual families that the city of Sacramento and Comcast will partner to hand out. And from here, I think I'll hand it to Councilmember Carr to discuss how we plan to get the word out, which of course is really important when we're trying to reach 10,000 people. And to the media on this call, we're definitely going to need your help. Councilmember Carr. Unmute yourself there.
Thank you, Councilmember Ashby. This is a great program, and it's a visionary program. And I'd like to thank the people who envisioned this and people who put it together. You know, $89 million is a lot of money, no matter how you look at it. But if that's all we have is $89 million, we're not going to get very far against this pandemic. And this program is a good example of how we can use the funds from the CARE Act to leverage against the private sector and actually grow the pot. And with the help of Comcast, we are growing the pot. We're making 89 million more than what we received. So I think this has to be the template that we use as we consider how we're going to allocate the remainder of the funds. This is an important program for our school kids for sure, because they can't go to school. So they have to be online. And if they don't have a computer or if they don't have access to the internet, then they're just falling further and further behind. But it's also important to another segment of our population, that's our seniors. The seniors who've been shut in, some of them isolated with no access to anyone, much less to the government. We're having our meetings online, and you have to have access to a computer even to participate in government. So another aspect of this that we will be working on is with our community partners for technical literacy training. Many people are not familiar with the internet or with computers, and giving them a computer and giving them internet without the means to access the things that they need to access is pretty much a wasteful act. So we have to work with our community partners to train our seniors, especially, some of whom are really afraid of the technology, how easy it is to use and all the things that they can use it for. The computer is a very powerful tool, but just like an Atlas rocket, it's a powerful tool. But if you gave me an Atlas rocket, I would have very little idea what to do with it. So we're giving people a powerful tool, and we have to give them the wherewithal to use it. Now, we're going to encourage everyone to sign up for this program, mainly through 311. You can also access the city's website, but if you don't have a computer, that's going to be pretty hard to do. So the main way to get to it is going to be 311. They will get you the information that you need on how to sign up for this program. So everyone needs to sign up. Even if you don't even if you're afraid of the technology, even if you've never had a computer, sign up for this program. We will get you what you need, and we'll also get you the training. We won't leave you out there isolated. So again, sign up 311 311. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Carr. We're also going to launch a multi-language effort. Karina Talamontes and Mai Vang are going to help us with a couple of those languages there. We'll be a multi-platform outreach, so social media, the city website. We'll use as many platforms as we need and as many languages as we can acquire to reach every corner of the city of Sacramento. Councilmember Carr, would you like to speak to digital equity, please? I'm sorry, Councilmember Warren. I'm sorry, Councilmember Warren. I was looking at Larry Carr.
That's all right. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. I want to say, first of all, congratulations and thank you to our leadership at Sacramento. We have leaders on the school board. We also have our mayor who has demonstrated great leadership. Councilwoman Mayor Pro Tem Ashby, you've done a tremendous job in working on fine tuning all of the exciting things that we're doing to help make Sacramento a better place. And so digital equity is quite simply, I think, one of the missing pieces to helping Sacramento reach its full potential. Sacramento has been noted for years as one of the most diverse cities in the entire country, if not the most diverse city. And I think, you know, when we strengthen the opportunity for people to communicate, good things can happen. And when you're online, you don't have language barriers. There's one language online for the most part. Our society has sometimes let these barriers of speech or communication, when it's not traditional communication, sometimes we've allowed that to separate us in a way that has not really put the best of Sacramento forward. And so I think as we roll out this program and making sure that it is going to the intended targets, which are lower income people and seniors, making sure that they not only get it, but they understand how to operate it. I think we're going to start to see that investment pay dividends in the city of Sacramento for years to come. And I think it's a tremendous program. And I just say thank you for including me in it. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for our city to make a great statement. And I think that we're doing some wonderful things in Sacramento. So thank you for including me, you guys.
Thank you, Councilmember Warren. Mayor, can I hand it back to you to field questions or do whatever else you want to add to here?
Karina and Mai wanna add anything here? That would be fine. Two elected officials. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mai.
Hi, everyone. Well, I hope all of y'all are safe and healthy. You know, I'm just incredibly proud to be here today with all of our partners. And I want to say thank you, just a heartfelt thank you to Mayor Steinberg, Mayor Pro Tem Ashby, Councilmember Carr, and Councilmember Warren, just for your leadership, your commitment to ensuring that Sacramento, that every individual in Sacramento, not just our student, is connected, and that we really began the conversation about how do we address the digital divide. I think all of you know that our world has really shifted because of COVID. And like Mayor Pro Tem Ashby was saying, you know, in order to access key government resources and to survive, right, we got to make sure that our families, our seniors, our students who are attending CRC, right, every household, they need access to Wi-Fi. I know we have that commitment at Sac City Unified School District, and this is why we launched Sac Kid Connect in partnership with the city and Comcast. But I think a big part of that is that, you know, while different institution is working to really address the digital divide, there's still gaps, right? And so I'm really proud that the city is scaling up to make digital equity a priority. I appreciate the numerous strategies from RT buses, right, to various programs, but at the end of the day, the best solution is really meeting families where they're at, and that's making sure that they got Wi-Fi in their homes. I also want to say, you know, I think throughout Sacramento, the lack of access internet isn't something new, right? It has plagued our low-income families long before the pandemic. And if we don't have a long-term strategy, eventually it's going to be an issue. And I'm really glad to hear from the mayor about, that this is going to make a larger dent, but most importantly, it really is going to contribute to a larger conversation about digital infrastructure in Sacramento and the region. And so this is why partnership is really important. And I'm really, really proud of our city that we're moving forward on this to make sure that, Sacramento is connected and that we stay on. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mike. Karina?
I also want to say thank you so much to Mayor Steinberg, Mayor Pro Tem Ashby, Councilmember Warren, Carr, and the city of Sacramento for truly leading this effort. I'm really looking forward to including the language access component of this program. We need to make sure that we translate all our flyers, all our promotional videos into the various languages that exist in Sacramento. And that's, one of the first steps in addressing the digital inequities that exist right now. So I'm really looking forward to that and working with our nonprofits, our community leaders, and really utilizing all the different programs that we have now to really spread the word and make sure that we have everyone in Sacramento enrolled into a program. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to all of you for your leadership and collaboration and pulling together. I just want to reiterate that we are going to bring this to the City Council on Tuesday, and as part of a package of what we're going to call early wins out of the $89 million package. And I think this is really a very important template for how we want to go about thinking about the $89 million and the larger investments that we intend to make over time, where we can take a relatively small amount of money, although this is significant, and we can match it with other resources from our other governmental partners and the private sector. We can go a lot farther, as Councilmember Carr said, with this money. And, we laid out a number of so-called buckets, right, which are flexible, but sort of give a vision for how these investments can and should be made. And when you think about the buckets, you think about small business assistance, you think about youth and workforce development, and you think about the digital divide. Fixing the digital divide is a key piece of ensuring that people have an opportunity to start small businesses. Fixing the digital divide is a key piece of ensuring that people of all ages, especially young people, can choose a career path that is going to lead to a new job in the digital world. And this is foundational to everything else we want to do. And as I said earlier, I hope that this is not the last time we suggest a significant city investment in bridging the digital divide, but one of many opportunities to actually get to a place where we don't just dent it, but we end it. That ought to be the goal, and it is the goal.
Okay, we have a lot of people, reporters in here, so we should probably start taking questions if you want to moderate that, Daryl, or Andrew, do you have the list of everybody there? Do you want to do it?
Yeah, I have it. And Lonnie sent me some questions first, so I was going to line him up in the queue. And then anybody else who wants to ask questions, please use the Q&A feature. Or after Lonnie, I will just unmute you and we can go there.
Okay.
Lonnie, you are up.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. So I'm just trying to find out the extent of the lack of technology. I mean, how many students, how many seniors, is there an estimate of how many are affected and in what neighborhoods?
Want me to take that one, Mayor?
Yes, please.
So, it's kind of a hard number, Lonnie, to get your mind around. Natomas Unified identified over 500 homes in their school district. Sac City Unified identified over 7,000 homes in their district. Of course, it's a much larger district, much larger space. Some of the districts haven't done that survey. And then there's homes outside of the school district. So people who don't have school-age children. The city has identified that we believe there are over 10,000 homes unconnected from Wi-Fi in one way or another. Now, we don't know if that's because they have Wi-Fi at work, so they just don't use it at home, or they have something on a cellular device, so there's not a hardwire thing at home. We don't know that for sure. It's tough to get your mind around. Maria may have some other numbers, and I'll ask her if she does. But we have estimated that over 10,000, somewhere just over 10,000 homes in the city of Sacramento are not currently connected, which is why we have selected the number 500,000, because it gets us to 10,000 homes. Maria, do you have additional information that I didn't include there?
No, that's all.
And if I could follow up, what happens with the households that don't physically have a connection with Comcast?
So the way this program works is they will get outreach from either one of our partners that's a nonprofit, or through you all, hopefully you know, they're turning on their TV and they hear from you, Lonnie. We're counting on you. And the bee and everybody else there, and the radio, and we're gonna do a hard full court press. We're gonna do the whole thing. We're gonna reach as many corners as we can. And the way the Comcast program works is just like you, when you move to a new home or a new apartment, and you call up Comcast and you say, I need your service. They bring you all the equipment and they set it up in your home. So this will be a new system in each home. This is not like the bus system where it's something parked outside and you need to try to access it. That's why Councilmember Carr was saying we're going to utilize some of those community partners too. Comcast will be setting folks up, and then we will be helping people with, we'll give them access to places where they can get tutorials on how to use the internet if they haven't before. And then they'll have the equipment, and then that's Comcast's equipment. So we'll be getting them set up internally in their homes. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And just one other question. What happens after 6 months?
Well, that's the multi-million-dollar question. Mayor, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, this is a down payment on ending the digital divide in Sacramento. And so obviously it all depends on our fiscal situation. But once you start and you provide the access, you never go back. That's my view. So we've got to find a way. And part of the idea here too is that once people see the value, and people who we engage on the job training side become either employed or have higher paid jobs. That's part of the idea here too.
Yes.
Ultimately, they'll be able to continue themselves, hopefully, more families, because once you see what you haven't had, I think there'll be a lot of desire and incentive for families to continue. But undoubtedly, the public sector will continue to be a bridge, and we won't go backwards once we get started.
Thank you.
Mayor, hey, Mayor, can you hear me? This is Alan.
Yes, Alan, please.
I just wanted to add to, Lonnie's question about what happens after 6 months, and in trying to do new things like this, Lonnie, there's always a starting point, and some of the answers will not be known, but what we know is that there's a huge void and a gap right now. And I think, as the mayor was starting to say, once people understand the tool that they will have access to by understanding how to use the internet, then maybe their value systems will change some, and it will help them organize in a way that might, help them to a more prosperous and the next step in their life. And so, we got to start somewhere. I think we have a lot of confidence is what the mayor is saying, is we have a lot of confidence we'll be able to help keep it going. So thank you.
That's a really good point.
Okay, I am unmuting some other folks here. Good day, John, Miguel, Steve Milne. I think that's everyone in the thing that's from the press. You are all allowed to talk, and I'm unmuting you one by one. If you have any follow-up questions. I have no questions in the queue at the moment.
Well, again, thank you all so much I did want to reiterate something that the Mayor Pro Tem said a moment ago. We hold this Zoom press conference not just to announce an exciting initiative, but also to solicit the support of our media partners to ultimately get the word out that there is an opportunity here, because we want every family to know, we want them to be among the first 10,000. And so the more that we can spread the word, the quicker we'll be able to get to that number, which is not a magic number, but it would be a significant achievement for our community. And so thank you for not only covering this, but participating in a very important civic endeavor here. And that is to make sure that everybody has access to high-speed internet, has enough Chromebooks or computers to be able to spread them among a family, and to give kids the opportunity to learn, and adults the ability to compete and prepare to re-enter a new world. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.